Hey there, Wanderers. Welcome back to the channel. So recently I did a trade with one of the Discord members, Bosco11, and I also got sent the new co-op challenge cards. So I'm very excited to check both of these out. Right, then we'll get to the awesome challenge cards. This is the co-op challenge card set that was released. All right, so we have two sets of challenge cards. I have one I'm going to keep sealed, and then the other set I'm going to open and we're going to take a look at. So here it is. This is a 30 card set designed specifically for cooperative play. Let's see how hard it is to get open. Oh, not bad. I think I have an in. All right, here we go. Let's take a look through all 30 of them. So HassThrift did the graphic design on them. It looks spectacular. Really like how visible everything is. He made a lot of neat little custom images, it looks like, for these, and put this cool light on the side, which shows also the level, so that way colorblind people can still play with these. And then we have whatever set that the challenge is applicable for, as well as what mode it's for, which all these will be for co-op. Got the name here, and then we have the effect down here, or the challenge. And then at the bottom, we've got the name of the designer for the challenge. All right, so we have first fashionistas. Each player must have a wearable item equipped. So level 1, so it's not that hard. All right, next we have golden path, and each player must reveal a victory exit during play. Absolutely love how he did the logo here with the double-sided with the room movement icon. It's really cool. So we've got Tyrant here. Players must collectively defeat 4 unfriendly or dual type entities by any means except concealment. So you have to use either regular items or like items that will defeat entities like the Dumb Gum or the Gold Tape. We have Hungry Darkness. Players must collectively gather 2 Painite gems from defeated entities. These entities will then occupy an inventory space face down. Once 2 gems have been collected, discard the entities and their gems. So that is a great co-op goal, because technically one person could gather both Painite gems. Alright, we've got Mamma Mia here. Players must collectively gather 4 mushrooms during play. So as long as you have 4 mushrooms between the 2 of you, then this goal is completed. Which shouldn't be too difficult depending on how you build your decks. You have Slip Right By. Each player must conceal a hound using Death Moth Jelly. That's a fun one. Everyone can contribute in that one. Love the look of the hounds here. The conceal icon in the back is really neat. Death Moth Jelly jars. Okay, we have Burning Bright. Players must collectively use the Flash Sphere as a concealment item, an attack item, and as a means to gain CCS from Dark Hall during play. So that, I love the Flash Sphere in the first place, and it's always fun to have to do all of the things that you can do with it. So you definitely want to build your decks to acclimate to that. Probably have like 2 in each deck, or maybe 3 in one deck at least. Alright, we've got For the Road. Players must collectively have 3 skits occupy their inventories simultaneously. So obviously you want to have a bit of a skit strong build in one of the decks, or maybe at least a couple skits in both decks would be helpful. We have Worm Tamers. So this one, each player must use memory fluid to tame at least 1 worm and then use them as attack items. So you both technically could tame like a memory worm and then use that as an attack item, and then that'll get that goal solved. Alright, we've got Hide. This is our first level 2 challenge. Each player must distract or conceal 2 entities on the field of play, so that everyone has to work towards that one. So you want to make sure you've got a good amount of concealment items in the deck, at least 2 or 3. Master of Many Weapons. Players must collectively use 5 attack items. That sounds like a lot of fun, and you really do want to have both players working towards that goal. 5 is not a small number. I mean, that could be like half of the items in your deck, depending on how you build. I love the picture here with the little wanderer girl with the 2 swords. That's just so cool. And if you'll notice, they're basically like buster swords. Really neat. Oh, this one looks amazing. Trembling Power. Each gem eligible entity with a Painite gem icon has double health points. Players must collectively defeat 3 of these entities. That's an awesome and really fun goal. I like playing that even in just the regular base game, having double health points for those gem eligible entities. Yeah, this one looks fun. Alright, we've got Alice in Wonderland. Both players must use a shrink drink to enter through a punctured wall during play. So yeah, important to think about this kind of goal being able to be solved by having the shrink drink and the punctured wall in your deck. So definitely a little bit more specialized. But shrink drink at least you can use for concealment too. Alright, we've got 1 forgets as 1 resets. One player must use memory fluid on the Frowner while the other must use one on themselves. That's fun. You definitely both have to have at least 1 or 2 memory fluids in your deck. I mean, they're good if you really need to reshuffle that deck in hand back into the pool pile and just get 4 cards out. Maybe your deck in hand is getting too big. It's nice to have that reset button. Then of course using it on the Frowner gives you that instant Painite gem too, which is nice. Alright, we've got all types. Each player must defeat an engaged entity while in 2 different hallway types. Bright, dark, destroyed, lecture, poisoned. There's a lot of different hallway types that you could do this in. It's cool how he has like this pentagon of the different rooms. It looks really neat to see them all laid out like that. We've got minus made positive. Each player must defeat a minus moth to regain an item of green light rarity or higher back from the discard pile. So I like this one a lot because it's always fun to beat a minus moth and then be able to get that item back from the discard pile. Yeah. So if you plan it right, you really could get like a second use out of a really good item. Maybe something really strong like an oil slick shrooms. And being that it needs to be a green light means that a lot of items are applicable towards that. Got Pipe Dream. Players must collectively return the hex pipe to their inventory 4 times throughout the game. So I mean, it's pretty expensive to get the hex pipe back, but it is just such a useful item to have. Like a slightly weaker mirror piece, but I mean, over time that damage is going to be building up, and then paying 6 sanity could be absolutely worth getting it back. And for this goal, just needing to do it 4 times collectively, I mean, one person can focus on that goal and get it done. And it's just awesome picture that he used for that. That hand with the hex pipes. Alright, we've got Worm Wielder. One player must tame a worm and wield it as the final attack to defeat an entity that the other player is engaged with. So this goes into the special mechanics for co-op play, where if you're on the 12 o'clock space of your field of play, you're able to use an attack item on the other player's engaged entity, because that is like where the barrier's thinnest. That's where your field of plays are both connected. So it's really interesting to think of taming a worm and then using it and just taking out the entity. It feels very cinematic to kind of save your partner, so to speak, by being able to take out that entity with the worm. And we got Oliver here, of course, being awesome. He is the guide after all. He would know what to do. All right, we've got Prepared for Anything. Players must collectively hold a companion, an attack item, a consumable item, a concealment item, and a wearable item in their inventories at the same time. So I thought this would be an interesting goal to try to achieve, because you have 8 inventory slots between the 2 of you, but 5 of those you have to kind of dedicate to getting those items and trying to line this challenge up. So I thought that would be a fun goal, and I really like this like carousel of the different item types as well as the companion up there. Alright, we've got Toe to Toe with Insanity, and here's our first red light challenge, by the way. We're on level 3 now. Players must simultaneously have their sanity drop to 10 or below during the game. So that is, I love the idea of that goal, because you really have to line that up with your partner. You have to communicate with them and work together to be able to get to that point of having 10 or less sanity. And I mean, it could be easy depending on your circumstances, and that reflective effect is very cool. I really like that detail that he put in there. Right, we have Ready to Fight. Both players must have 3 attack items in their inventory at the same time. And that's self-explanatory, but that's also 6 attack items. You could do some major damage, either for yourselves or for each other, or both. Return of the Ancients. Players must collectively defeat 2 entities and also 2 of their respective ancient versions. And also a really great goal. And I love how he lined up here. You've got the Hound and the Ancient Hound, Faceling, Ancient Faceling, and Strangler with Ancient Strangler. So very cool design there. I think having the Ancient Faceling right up front is the best idea, because that thing is so menacing. And I mean, these 2 aren't slouches either, but he's definitely one of the scarier ones. Alright, we have Exterminators. Players must collectively send at least 8 entities to the discard pile. And that's a fun goal. I always like the challenge of having to take down a certain number of entities to be able to complete the goal, because that can be really challenging. I mean, you need a lot of attack items, especially for some of those harder entities. Also, this is a cute detail. Here lies 8 entities. He's written in the gravestone there. I love that. Oh, I love the look of this one. This Need for Greed. Players are limited to a total of 3 inventory slots each and must collectively gather 6 items simultaneously. Very cool look here with showing that one of the item slots is unavailable. I really like this goal overall. The idea of limiting your inventory slots and needing to kind of get to a certain place, have a certain number of things in order to clear the goal and get your inventory space back. Fun idea for sure. Poison Peeps. Each player must successfully defeat at least 1 entity using the Poison Hall as the only source of damage. And this is already, it can be a challenging goal, because you really want to be careful about those Poison Halls. Because, I mean, visiting one without the gas mask, you're losing deck in hand as well as sanity. which can really drain you quickly, so definitely good to keep an eye out for that gas mask, or, you know, both of you have gas masks, just to prevent all that poison damage if you can help it. Also, a great touch here with the poster on the wall of the gas mask that says required underneath. I love that touch, right? We've got painful reflection. Players must collectively lose 12 sanity or more from using one or more mirror pieces. All right, we've got the supermarket sweeps. Players must each have at least 3 items in their shopping cart at one point throughout the game. Shopping cart, I kind of underestimated when I first saw the car park level set. But the more time I've spent with the car parks, I've enjoyed using this item and putting it in more decks. I think it's a really unique idea of having an item where you load other items into it and then it does more damage. I think being able to kind of level up your shopping cart's damage by throwing items in there just makes so much sense. Here we've got brewing trouble. Each player must defeat an engaged entity of red light rarity or higher with a death moth brew as the final attack. This one definitely seems like it could be a challenge because you have to basically get any entity down to 1 health and then toss that death moth brew at them for the last damage. But this is also for red light or higher, which means it's going to be a lot of health you've got to take down, and you've got to be very precise about it because you need to have that final damage be the death moth brew. So level 3 makes total sense for that. It's all about timing. Unexpected bounty. Players must collectively gather 3 items using the abandoned backpack. This is definitely a hard one. Abandoned backpack is so hit or miss. I mean, you're probably going to want to have at least 2 or 3 per deck. And it's just such a crapshoot whether you're actually going to find an item or not. But I mean, at least you'll get the 5 sanity back. It just might take a while to get those 3 items. And finally, we have Wayfound. Oh, this is a level 1 challenge, so we went through all the level 3s. But Wayfound is definitely a personal favorite. Players must collectively cover 3 entities with the assistance of Wayfinders. I love the Wayfinder. It's definitely one of the best friendly entities in the car park level set. I love the idea of it being used to just cover an entity up and gaining like 10 sanity, just like all at once. That's such a great entity to have around, especially when things are getting a little dicey and you just need the space back, a little bit of breathing room. All right, so that is all 30 of the challenges. Really excited. I think there's 10 car park levels challenges, 10 lobby level challenges, and then 10 any set challenges. So I can't wait to hear how people are enjoying the co-op mode once everything gets released and once all the cards arrive for everybody. I think it's really exciting that everyone's going to be trying it out soon. So if you're interested in getting a pack of these, you can get all 30 for, I believe, $20 on the web store right now. They're in limited supply, so I think they're only producing like 500 sets of these. So I know co-op's going to be rolling out soon, and I think that's really exciting. So hope you guys enjoy the co-op mode and the new cards, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care.